Hello and welcome to the Gin Weekly Update for Friday, June 17th, 2016. I'm Joel Yeast. Our thoughts and our prayers go out to Orlando this week and the people of Orlando. For anyone who was directly affected by this tragedy, our hearts go out to you. And we're here for you, for your support whenever you need us. For those who were directly affected by this tragedy, and those of us who were indirectly affected by this tragedy, we will continue to be strong. And we will continue to lead with positivity and lead with love. With a tragedy such as this, it's difficult to know what to do or what to say. There are famous quotes that say not to let the behavior of others destroy your inner peace, and that God gives his hardest battles to his strongest soldiers. Many people look at something like this and they get angry, or they want to get even. And others, they want or need to get through it. And I say get busy. Get busy feeling good now. Get busy getting up and going after your dreams. Get busy doing the things that you want to do in life. Is there an obstacle or an excuse in the way? Check it off the list, or climb over it, or go through it. It's not going to move until you move it. In Orlando, there is still hurt, and there's still a lot of pain, and there will be for a long time. We're sending our love and our strength to you to carry on, and we are here for you whenever you need us. And our hearts this week go out to Miss Aline Dalbius, who lost her mother. Aline, as well as Jean-Luc, you have our sincere thoughts and prayers. We wish you peace during this difficult time. And our thoughts and prayers also go out to Mr. and Mrs. Tim and Terry Nelson for their family loss. We are holding you in the light. Usually at this time, I do a member and affiliate spotlight, recognition, if you will. And I would like to double up on that by highlighting all of our members in and around the Orlando, Florida area, including Tim and Terry Nelson, Sue Adams, Alan Alvarez and Miriam Frey, Alan Caraway, Charles Foster, Pankaj Kapil, Becca Keys and Melissa Francesca Keys, Eric Mazuha, Ken Newton, Alex Sanchez, that's Alex Sanchez, Randall Samos, and Gabriella Zachariah, as well as Troy St. Troy and Dan Wall. If I left somebody out, I invite you to give them the recognition. Coming up, look for meetings, gin meetings actually, in your area. Local chapter meetings, June 18th in Stony Creek, Ontario. Also June 18th in New York City, New York. June 18th in Sydney, Australia, and June 18th in Ottawa, Ontario. June 19th, there's Tucson, Arizona, and June 20th in Kirkland, Washington. June 21st in Stoneham, Massachusetts. Also on June 21st in Kitchener, Ontario. June 23rd in Loveland, Colorado. There will be Mastering the Success Mastery course classes coming up for those in New York City, New York on June 18th. June 19th in London, England. June 20th in Kirkland, Washington. Also June 20th in Paris, France. For more information about those, go to access.events and look for an event near you. There's a story about two friends who were walking along a path when they came to a large stone wall. The wall stretched for miles in both directions and was built higher than both of their heads, and they couldn't get over it. So the friends, named Tim and Bob, thought up a plan. Tim said, "Bob, the town that we're headed to is on the other side of this wall. We should work together to get me to the top and over the wall." And Bob replied, "Yes, and together we can try to get over this wall together and into the town." And Tim replied with, "No, but you lift me up onto your shoulders so I can get to the top. And when I get to the top, I will have my people in the town come and get you." Bob stooped down, and Tim climbed on him, putting a foot on each shoulder. Bob stood up, and Tim reached as high as he could, and his fingers just barely touched the top of the wall. "Tim, can you reach the top?" Bob asked. "No, but I can't quite make it over." "Bob, can you move to higher ground?" And Bob said, "Yes." And he moved, and he said, "Yes, I will stand on my toes to get you even higher." So he did. And Tim could get his hand to the top of the wall and pull his head just barely over to see what was on the other side. "I can see the other side," Tim said. "I see a town and the people that I know." "Great," said Bob. "Can you call to one of your friends and help us get over together?" Tim said, "No, but I will go back to the town and get somebody from the last village we were in. Will you stay here?" Bob said, "Yes, and I will gather wood to build a ladder or something to stand on." Tim went back to the village. Bob stayed and collected wood. Soon, Tim came back with a villager to help them get over the wall. Bob welcomed them and said, "Should we work together and help build a platform or maybe a ladder to climb up and over?" Tim said, "No, but Bob, you let Raymond stand on your shoulders, and then I will stand on his shoulders, and together we will get over this wall." Bob bent down again, and Raymond stood on Bob's shoulders. And Tim climbed up, both of them, and onto Raymond's shoulders. Tim made it to the top of the wall and lifted himself up and stood on it and said, "I did it. I made it to the top of this wall." "Great," said Bob. "Will you reach down now and help me up?" "No, but I will go to the village and get help." Tim went to the village, Raymond went back home, and Bob stayed at the base of the wall. Hours went by, and even a few days later, Tim was in the village. He was trying to get people to go back to the wall and help him, making friends along the way. And he looked up, and he saw Bob walking towards him. And Bob said, "Tim, did you finally get somebody to come back and help you get me over the wall?" And Tim said, "No, but I did make a lot of new friends. I see you made it over the wall." And Bob said, "Yes, and I taught myself how to climb." Now, when you look at the two people, what's the biggest difference between Bob and Tim? Did you notice in that story that at every turn, Tim used the phrase, "no, but," whereas Bob used the phrase, "yes, and." No but versus yes and. Do you think success and growth and collaboration come from yes and or no but? Let's break this down and start with the positive. Yes and. When you say yes to someone, you let them know that you're listening to them, giving them the first form of recognition and validating what they're saying. When you add the word and, what does that bring? It, for a lack of a better phrase, validates your validation. It contributes to the conversation. It adds to the success. Now, obviously, if somebody tells you to follow you off a cliff, you're smart enough and logical enough not to actually follow them over a cliff. Try saying yes in your life. In all my years of learning and teaching, I found that when it comes to collaboration and teamwork, you should eliminate the phrase, no, but, and try to replace it with yes, and. See how far it gets you. And see who in your life says no. Are these people willing to work with you? Are they willing to grow themselves? Where is their teachability index? Think about that. And better yet, live it. Start using yes and. That's the weekly update for Friday, June 17th, 2016. I'm Joel Yeast. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.